Makes the world go round. I'ma talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. Survival of the fittest, you can sink or swim. I been broke, I ain't never going back again. I need some C-notes, some cheddar, and a stack of ends. I need a bowl of dough, I don't need no Facebook friends. I need a pack of them snaps, a handful of Fetty Wops, and rubber band on my greenbacks. Look, dawg, don't be playing with my paper. I need every red cent, that's why I brought my little scraper. You don't know me, homie, I rob my own neighbor with a clock around my neck with a style that's so flavor. Give me the loot is just an understatement. I'm about to take your bank and put it in my basement. Make money, money, make money, money, money. Make money, money, make money, money, money. Take money, money, take money, money, money. Take money, money, take money, money, money. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. Money makes the world go round. I'ma talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. The root of all evil, I don't agree with that. It's hard to do when you riding around with 10 racks. Golden Arches, St. Louis, I'm the Big Mac. St. Petersburg, Russia, you can find it on the map. I'm so cold I can spit the snow. That's why they call me Nitro with the nicest flow. On the real, man, I hate it when they call me bro. It's getting on my nerves like these bills and these haters, yo. Chill, a grown man with a loaf of bread. I keep a stack of Benjis right under my bed. Check it, my shoebox is the stash spot. I used to keep my scratch at my dad's house. I got a deadline, so I need the cake. I need a plan, so my duck is gonna try to escape. Yeah, I'm always looking for the currency, a large amount, call it a pretty penny. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. Money makes the world go round. I'ma talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. You got a $5 bill, put your hands up. You got a $10 bill, put your hands up. You got a $20 bill, put your hands up. You got a $50 bill, put your hands up. Holla, holla. Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. I need that Skrilla on the Rilla. I always was too cool for school and just too dumb to get a job. I know I'm lazy, but I don't care. I'm good for nothing, and I don't care. I never was motivated to go and do something I hated. I know I'm lazy, but I don't care. I'm good for nothing, and I don't care. I may be dumb, but I ain't no jerk. It make no sense for me to work when Uncle Sam sends checks for free. So who's the dumb one, you or me? Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. My mom tells me I'm a loser. I don't care, 'cause she's a loser. I know I'm lazy, but I don't care. I'm good for nothing.
Happy Friday night, fellow AI robots.
I may be dumb,
Great song, by the way.
no jerk.
Oi,
Don't
oi,
make
oi.
no sense for me to work when Uncle Sam sends checks for free. So who's the dumb one, you or me?
What's going on, fellas? Happy Friday, guys. Long day today, but we got the Twisted Tea ready to go. I don't know if I can show this on YouTube, but we're going to show it anyways. We got the twisted tea. We got the half and half twisted tea today, by the way, guys. Let's enjoy our Friday night. Let's talk some Bitcoin. Let's talk some altcoins. Might be a little bit shorter of a stream today, just because it's not too much different than talked about from yesterday. But might be a little bit shorter of a stream. Just letting you know though, if you guys like the twisted tea, okay, don't get the regular twisted tea. Get the half and half. Okay, it's all about the damn half and half, fellas. All right. Well, let's get this, man. It's Friday night. We got the weekend, and your boy's getting some. We're getting some General Gao's chicken tonight, fellas. So I'm a little bit hyped. Anyways, Mike, what's up, bro? Metal Gear. Yeah, I look pretty tan today, don't I? Drunk Bear said, "Sup, losers? In here on a Friday night. Let's freaking go, man. We're all losers, bro." John Ev said, "Jordan is happy and clappy." I am happy and clappy, man. Let's talk a little bit about the altcoin market today. So, I just want to go through it. And I know that the altcoin market depends on what Bitcoin does, but I think it's important during these times to go look at where the altcoin market is, and just kind of give us a sense of, have we seen something like this in the past, and what maybe could we expect based off the past, right? That's what I want to do today. Bitcoin, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We kind of been talking about it, right? The volatility came in, but it was obviously the volatility came into the downside to start, and we'll see if it continues. We're back into our 50 moving averages. This is where we want to see Bitcoin hold for the short term, if we want to see this uptrend continue. So in the 50 moving averages, it's important over the next 1 to 2 weeks that we see a bounce. Okay, why? Well, one of my favorite indicators, the hash ribbon indicator, which is flash to buy signal, usually takes 1 to 2 weeks to play out. We saw a red week. A lot of times we do see a red week when that flashes. Now, next week is the week that we were going to want to see some type of bounce. There was no grayscale news today, by the way, which was kind of a bummer. I was hoping for some grayscale news today. I was hoping to rip my shirt off and go, "Let's go, baby!" But we got no grayscale news. So we're going to have to wait until possibly they're saying it should happen in the next 2 weeks, and it happened. Usually these cases get settled on Tuesdays and Fridays. That's why everyone was like, "Oh my god, maybe at 11 o'clock today we get the grayscale news or grayscale versus SEC resolution." Didn't happen today. So the next date we can watch out for that is Tuesday. So we'll go for that on Tuesday for a denial or an approval, or basically a lose or a win. We don't know. So we'll see, but we got that going on. The big thing for me is holding these 50 moving averages here, because that kind of tells you where the trend is. And if Bitcoin starts closing candles below that 50 moving average band, short term doesn't look great, right? And that's kind of what we've been talking about, is any weekly closes below 25K, I don't think Bitcoin looks too good. We stay above 25K, I think it's fine. But if we break below 25K, you might have to be looking for some lower levels, right? And that's kind of what we've been talking about. So that is that for Bitcoin. It's pretty self-explanatory, man. It's not too much else going on. Let's see. Franco said CZ sold off a bunch of Bitcoin to protect BNB chain from a margin call. BNB is close. We'll take a look at BNB. Shout out to Franco, though. Franco, you're one of my favorite people in the chat, man. Shout out to Franco. Yeah, I mean, whenever BNB gets close to support, you know that CZ's got to sell off some of that Bitcoin to hold up BNB's price. We'll take a look at that, actually. That's a really good point. Really, really freaking good point, guys. By the way, guys, should I go shirtless? I've told other people are doing shirtless streams. Should I go shirtless too? I think I should go shirtless. What do you know? Let me know, guys. I will go shirtless. Just make sure your nipples don't make any noises. Make sure your nipples aren't going like. Right? That's gonna happen if we go shirtless here. But enough about Bitcoin. I think we kind of know Bitcoin. I want to look at the altcoin market today, right? And kind of revisit our total 3 minus stablecoin chart. By the way, V-Slip said, "God no." What, man? You don't want to see these nips? You don't want to see these nips? Mike, I'll never make it in UFC. My calluses aren't great enough. What's up?
I said there's a George hiding there.
Is it George hiding there?
Yeah. One of your nips.
Oh, did you guys know this? Before we go on to the altcoin chart, did you guys know this? one of my nipples, actually both of them, it's not one.
They look like a face of George.
Two of my nipples, okay? Not one, obviously two. If I had three, there'd be something wrong with me. Two of my nipples, okay? They I don't even know how to explain this. Hold on, I don't even know how to explain this. Two of my nipples. Basically, there's like a slit in between both nipples that gotta go straight across. It kind of looks like it kind of looks like a mouth, right?
Looks like lips.
It looks like a mouth. Basically, there's a nipple, line goes through, looks like a mouth. And Maj thinks it looks like George. George's mouth.
You're forgetting about something.
Oh, the hair. So I have a couple hairs on the top of the nipples. A couple hairs on top of the nipples. So it looks like hair, and then the mouth looks like George's mouth. It's like... it's all chapped. You know, like George's mouth is so chapped. Like my nipples are chapped. You know? It just looks like George's face. And, yeah. It's hard to explain. But, you know... maybe one day. We'll show you. I should have told you that a long time ago. But yeah, my nipples apparently look like George's face, which I agree. Like I actually think they do, especially from the side. Especially from the side, bro. Papa Mike, what's going on, bro? We're talking about my nipples looking like George's face. All right. Anyways, going back to the altcoin chart, right? So. Obviously, altcoins got, you know, I mean, we got a nice dump down now. What have we been talking about with the altcoin market, right? We just want to continue to hold and make higher lows, right? So even on this, like, pretty big dump that we saw from the altcoin market, we actually, I mean, as of now, are making a higher low. Now, doesn't mean that this is the low. We have to continue to hold this. But we know if this is going to continue to play out like the Wyckoff, and I know when prices get low, we typically go into thinking that it's not going to do this, right? But if you look at this bottom face of Wyckoff like this, typically what we want to see is just a higher low structure from this point, right? So we obviously had this low back in June that we painted here. We came back down. We just put it in another low there, which is technically a higher low. And we've been talking about that the altcoin market's going to be choppy. It's not going to be straight up. Probably in 2020, probably in 2023, we've been sort of saying the altcoin market's probably just going to chop in here. Most likely, you'll have the one-off ones that look good, but most likely you're just going to do something like this over the course of 2023, and that's kind of what you've been doing so far, right? I mean, at least the last 3 months, just chop suey. So. Even with that dump, you still are holding that low. So just want to point that out on the whole altcoin market and look at some ones in particular though. So I want to look at Doge, right? And we've talked about, and actually I'm going to look at Ethereum Classic today because we have an Ethereum Classic fractal, but I also want to look at the Doge fractal because we've seen price action like this before, right? Now, a lot of times these fractals don't play out one-to-one. They're going to deviate at some point. At some point, you're going to say, F this fractal, bro. Like, this fractal sucks. But we did see something like this before. If you take Doge's previous bear market sort of, you know, from the highs and the big consolidation, this is basically back from this point, back here. And you kind of overlay it. We did see something like this, where we did have like this consolidation down. We got to move up to the top of the range, and we saw this big final flush to the downside. Now, last time it was COVID that caused this final flush. Right now, it's just kind of fear. It's like fear with this Evergrande stuff. It's just fear. You know, like people are just very fearful in the stock market right now. So. Right now, you're kind of seeing this kind of same sell-off here like we saw back in COVID. Now, we obviously haven't gone as deep. We're about halfway, right? So if this is going to do the same kind of dip as COVID, we're like halfway through that. You know, so if we say we're here, could be kind of interesting, right? But we have seen something like this before for the altcoin market, like right back in here. And I also want to point out Ethereum Classic, because we haven't looked at this in a while, but it's actually interesting. Take a look at this. Let's bring the Ethereum Classic fractal over. Take a look at this right here. Now, actually, let me take this one. This one's a little bit better. We actually saw this kind of final flush out too, right? So we've tracked this Ethereum Classic fractal forever, man. And if you notice, right in here, right, where you kind of had the big move up, you came down, you chopped, you came to the low, you got to move up. There was this like final flush. This was also the COVID crash. You know what I'm saying? Right here, boom, COVID crash. So the question remains, you know, is this the kind of final flush out for the altcoin market? And there's a case to be made, right? There's a case to be made, especially when you look across the market. I still think some coins are going lower. I think a lot of coins have found their lows, but I still think there's some altcoins that have lower to go, right? And I think it's pretty obvious when you look at charts of which ones are going to go lower, which ones aren't. But we'll talk individually. If you guys want me to look at an altcoin, just put it in the chat. Today it's gonna be a quick stream today. We're just gonna go through some altcoins, man. Let's see. Wayne said, "Be right back. Gotta take the dogs out and mine some altcoins." Let's go, Wayne. Mine that Litecoin. Mine that. Well, you can't mine Ethereum anymore. Mine that ETH. You can mine ETH Classic if you want to. Go ahead, mine ETH Classic. Let's see. 4-hour stream to go over top 200 altcoins. A 4-hour stream. Dude, I haven't done a stream longer than 3 hours since 2021. One day we'll get back to the 3-hour streams, guys. That's going to be the time where we get back to the 3-hour streams. That's where it's going to get very, very fun. Right? The 3-hour streams are where it's at. Remember the days we used to be live from like 7 to 10 p.m.? And we just used to be killing it over there, man. We'll get back to those days. Not at the current moment. This is probably the opposite of the spectrum, where we have very short streams. We'll be back to the 3-hour streams at some point. Right now is not the time, though. Right now is not the time. Now, I think right now is the time to like have your levels marked. Don't stare at the charts all day. It's sort of meaningless. Have your levels marked and just kind of go with the flow. But all right. So besides that, let's see. Let's go look at some of the top alts, right? So let's start with everyone's favorite ones, like Cardano, right? Cardano wick to the low. Once again, this is when everyone's going to start flipping out, and right, this is typically when everyone starts selling out of shit. Like they panic sell, right? Basically, what happens is, and most people won't admit it, is they're going to buy this wick. You know what I mean? They're going to buy this wick. When you come back to the lows, they're going to panic sell thinking you're going to go significantly lower, right? You're going to get a little bit of a bounce. They're going to FOMO back in because they missed. Oh, I was wrong. It's not going to go lower. It's going to go higher. They're going to FOMO back in. You're going to get another pullback. They're going to panic sell again. Right? This is how it works, right? You're just in a big range, right? And when you look at the altcoin market, like Cardano, you're in a top to bottom to top to bottom. Didn't quite make it to the top. Back to the bottom. You're just in a big freaking range. Now, I've sort of said this. What I want to see for some of these top alts is actually a spike lower. I would actually like to see Cardano actually spike this low and then come back up, which I still think is possible, right? I think there's a possibility that, like I said, some of these alts haven't found lows yet. If you wanted to start DCAing, I wouldn't blame you. You're at a range low, right? Do whatever you got to do. But I still think there's the possibility that some of these can go a little bit lower here and kind of spike these lows, which would then set up the Wyckoff accumulation to look way better, bro. Way freaking better. So Cardano's one of them. What's another one we can look at here? We talked a little bit about Doge. Doge kind of spikes the low again. Doge is back at the range low. This is typically when people get bearish. You know, it is what it is. I'm actually going to be... Doge is an interesting one. But, you know, you're back at the range lows. Let's see. Some of these L1s, man. The L1s are just... They just got no momentum, man. You know why it is? Because no one really is like staking their coins or anything. So like the TVL is so low on these right now. It's just there's no hype on the L1s, bro. Yo, Griff! He came with the gift of membership. Shout out to Griff, man. I used to have a childhood friend named Joe Griffin. And I don't know why, but every time I see your name, I always think of Joe Griffin. I don't know why. Not Peter Griffin. We're not talking about Family Guy. I always think of my friend Joe Griffin. He was a good friend, man. Haven't talked to him since like a little bit after high school. But man, he was a good friend. I always think of him whenever I see you in the chat, man. You know? It's interesting. Wayne said, gotta cut a couple real gems. Nice! Nice, Wayne. That's what I'm talking about, bro. All right, just to kind of add on to that, like, I actually want to look at FTM. Look at FTM. FTM made it all the way back down to the bottom of the range. So here's where it gets interesting, right? Because FTM, you've gotten a bounce here from July 2021. You got a bounce here from November 2022. Now you're back at this same level again, right? For the, I mean, you could argue for the fourth time, right? One move up, two moves up, three moves up. Here you are again, right? Bigger picture, you want to argue a head and shoulders. You could argue it. This is one that's, it's interesting, man. If you believe in like Elliott waves, right? It's sometimes like, I always used to knock Elliott waves. Sometimes it's useful, but you got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave to the low there, which is I think is pretty interesting. Once again, I would like to see this actually spike the low and get back above. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't be against DCA in it down here. I mean, like, you're back at 20 cents for FTM. Like, the way I'm looking at it is I'm actually going to start DCAing into FTM. I think FTM is one that kind of got a little bit of a bad rep. So over the course of the next few weeks, I might actually start looking at FTM and start DCAing into FTM. But I know that there's a possibility that it dips lower, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm not trying to time lows here. I'm just trying to look at the market, right? Understand that we went through a year bear market. Now we're in this year sideways period. I'm just looking to accumulate as much shit in this sideways period at the bottom of ranges that I possibly can. And that's it, right? Let's see. I know emotions are very high right now. You can tell emotions are very, very high.
I'm holding strong, but man, where is BTC going?
Judge Bible said I'm holding strong, man, but where is BTC going? Short term, who knows, man? I've always said, like, short term, like, charts or whatever. To me, and I've sort of said this, man, like, I'm not trying to really time this market at this point. For the rest of this year, I ain't trying to time this market. I'm not, like, trying to sell here and buy here, then sell back here and buy back here. I'm not trying to do that this year. This year, I'm just looking to stack at smart levels, right? I'm not buying Bitcoin up here. I'm not buying Bitcoin up here, right? On big capitulations, that's where I'm looking to add shit. And listen, like, Bitcoin's at 26K. Say it was the DCA here, right? And it drops to 24K. Okay, man. What I mean, drops to 20K. Okay. Over the grand scheme of things, right, as we like to say, I'm just looking to accumulate in this range. Because normally what happens, and earlier this year was a great example, right? And this is typically how it works. People wait and wait and wait and wait, right? You get to such a low level and you still wait, expecting lower, right? So I think the FTX dump was the perfect example, right? No one was buying 15K, 16K. Everyone was still bearish.
Can you
You know what I'm
please
saying?
check Akash?
And that's a perfect example. It's like everyone talks a big game at buying low, right? But when you get there, most people don't do it, right? So the bears calling for 15K, 20K, that's great, but you have to pull the trigger when you get there. You know what I mean? Like, it's great to call it, but you got to actually put your skin in the game to actually make something from it, right? So when we went back down here last time, it was everyone calling for 14, 10. Obviously, that didn't happen, right? So as we come down again, right, even if we come back into this range, I told you, if Bitcoin wants to come back into this range, this is my accumulation range for Bitcoin for the rest of 2023. So if it wants to come back in here, I'm going to start DCAing Bitcoin again, right in here. Right? Bitcoin wants to come to 24, 23, 22, 20. I'm DCAing in this range because I don't really care about short term, man. No one's going to predict where the bottom is. Just like no one and their mother predicted that 15K was the low. Except Chewy. He was the only one that I saw. No one that I saw predicted 15, or whatever it was. 15.5 was the low. There's literally only one person that I saw that did. And that was Chewy, man, you know? So, kind of goes again, right? If Bitcoin comes down here, great, we'll DCA. If it doesn't, cool, we'll sit on our hands and we'll do what we need to do. Same thing for the altcoin market. I think the altcoin market is, that's why I want to talk about the altcoin market today, because I think for me, right, I mean, as these are pushing lows, like I said, it's easy to get discouraged and it's easy to get like, oh my God, it's so bearish. You know, it's easy to get like that right now. FTT, and I told you guys, FTT is another one that I'm very interested in. I feel like FTT has the hatred power. Any alt that's hated by the community always tends to do well. FTT is hated for obvious reasons, but it's got the structure, man. You got the first low. What the frick? Sometimes this happens, man. The brush tool doesn't work. You got the first low, you got the second low. If this flushes down again, like I want this to break this support. If this flushes down and breaks this support and then gets back into the range, boom, there we go. I have that white box right there on purpose for FTT because that's the level I'm waiting for. Right below those previous lows, right? Get below those previous lows, get everyone bearish, get back into the range. Boom, there we go. We got the white off. So FTT is another one. I've been very, very patient on this one. I've almost FOMO'd a few times, but I held myself back. I've been patient on this one, and the patience will be rewarded. I still think the FTT is going lower. I'm just kind of going through a few of them, man. Chainlink, obviously a popular one amongst many people, including myself. Yeah, if you look at Chainlink here, just look at this range. Just clean, man. Clean range. You've already played out the Wyckoff. Now you're coming back down to test the range low. That's cool. If Link wants to come back down to 550, I'll be a buyer. Until then, I'm waiting. I still think Link can come a little bit lower too. 550, I'm a buyer here. To buy back, well, not to buy back, but to add to my position on Chainlink at the range low. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it's the same, right? I'm looking for range lows to be broken, get everyone super, super bearish, like, they broke, right? And then that's typically when you see capitulation. People sell everything they have, and then we can start rocking and rolling. OP is still too high for me. Look at OP. OP is strong as shit, man. I'll say this. There is no altcoin that I'm more bullish on than OP going into this next run. Every time there's a bounce, this one bounces the most. Every single time. And it's not based off fundamentals. You're just looking at the strength. Whenever the market finds any type of support, this one just shoots up, man. This one's crazy. And I want to add. I want to add, but it never dips to where I want it to. I got a good position on OP, right? But I want to add to OP, bro. I want to add to OP. But it never dips as much as everything else. And maybe I'm being a bottom dweller. I don't know. Maybe I am. Squirt, what's going on, bro? Oh, I didn't call you crazy, Squirt. I disagreed. I didn't call you crazy, though. I believe we double bottom just like we double topped. Maybe we do, Squirt. Maybe we do, man. Maybe we do. I'm still down 15K, so we need COS to break 0.5 cents. COS? I think COS is still holding that previous high, right? It is actually, yeah. It's still holding that previous high that I had right here from April 1st, which is cool. A lot of times, like this one's broken up, back tested, and came back up. So, yeah, cost is still holding here at that previous high. We'll see if it does. This one's just been a beast, as we talked about so many times. Like, this one's a freaking beast, man. Up 4% today. I think it bounced yesterday, too. Crazy,
Can you
dude.
check Akash Plaza?
Man, you gotta love the half and half. All right, guys, I'm staying on for a little bit longer. JF said a cash. I have no idea what that is, bro. Like, honestly, Jam, I would rather talk about aliens and AI than a cash. You know what I mean? But we'll look at it. You know why? Because it's a cash. You know what I'm saying? It's a cash. Short-term time frames. If we just zoom in on Bitcoin here real quick. Not too much to take from this. I mean, you spiked down. You did take that wick today. It's the weekend. The weekend, I never really expect much from the weekend. But now we have volatility shooting back up. So maybe the weekends start being exciting again. Because there was a time where weekends were actually more exciting than the weeks. It hasn't been like that for a long time. There's a time. Now we got Bitcoin's historical volatility chart shooting up. Maybe this weekend we get some volatility. You never freaking know. But with volatility on the weekend, you create gaps. You don't want gaps because gaps tend to get filled. Let's see. Aliens aren't real. John, I'll say this about the aliens, man.
BTC looks like shy.
The more I sort of I see all this bullshit with these whistleblowers and just random people just saying everything is aliens, the more like it makes me not believe in aliens. Like I need some tangible proof. Because the more of this bullshit that I hear just makes me think that everyone's stories over history were bullshit. You know what I mean? Because all these people have seen aliens, but we have no tangible proof. We've had thousands of people that say they've seen an alien-like figure, right? That, looks like a typical alien. They all say it looks the same. Isn't it funny? They all say that the alien looks like the same freaking figure, which also kind of, I think, tells me that it's fake. Maj just making the noise.
Yeah, you're staying longer to just repeat yourself and talk about aliens.
Yes. 8:45, Maj. We got 2 more minutes. A cache is decentralized computer power. Maj is getting mad at me, guys. You heard that. I told her 8:45, but, it is what it is. Let's see. Aliens are light and energy. Everyone says they look the same, man. But they like, and everyone says they look the same, but no one's had a video of them. So I refuse to believe. I want to believe that there's something else out there, but I also don't believe all these stupid stories that people tell without any tangible proof, even though everyone's got a smartphone now. So, anyways, guys. Like we said, today's going to be short. I just wanted to go over, just the sentiment in the market, right? So, obviously, the sentiment is shit, and I guess the best way I'll put this is, really since March has been really just time, right? Time has taken a toll on everybody. I actually think that the market was more fun when FTX crash was happening. It was actually more exciting, right? And now, I mean, you really look, we really haven't gone anywhere, right? You can argue since January, right? I mean, January we were at 23.5. We really haven't moved too much. We've had 3 volatile weeks, right? 1 week up, 1 week up, 1 week down. Other than that, it's been chop suey and nothing's really happened. And that takes a toll on you, right? What I'll say about this time is let's keep an eye on the stock market, okay? NASDAQ is coming back down to fill this gap. But actually, the NASDAQ almost filled the gap today. So we had this daily gap on the NASDAQ that looks like it's going to fill next week. S&P looks like it's going to fill that gap next week. As we sort of been saying, ever since we started to get the pullback, it's been likely that this gap gets filled on the S&P and the NASDAQ. We need some macro strength, because right now the stock markets are just getting pummeled over the last 3 weeks. Obviously, that's going to take a toll on Bitcoin. So we first need to see these catch a little bit of a bid. Here's the level I think is next for some type of bid. Need to find some type of bounce on that. The other thing is just the sentiment, right? So I think you gotta choose who you are. Are you a swing trader? Are you someone that's just looking to stack shit? Okay, if you're a swing trader, you got different way of thinking than I do at this current moment, and you got to make different decisions, right? You got to make different decisions. I'm basically talking for the people that are, as I've said, just looking to stack for the rest of 2023. I will say this: do it at smart levels, okay, and do it on big capitulation days, okay, massive capitulation days. Right? Like those days where you see shit dump 10, 15%, those are usually the days that at least mark local lows. Maybe not the macro low, but at least local lows. Do it on smart days. Do it at bottom of ranges, okay? And just make sure you're not FOMOing in, because what usually happens is you get bearish on the big capitulation day, right? You don't buy because you think it's going lower. You get that first green day, you buy back in, and then it dumps lower. You don't want to be that guy, right? So just make sure you DCA at smart levels. And I'll say this: a lot of people just DCA at any freaking level. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that strategy. I think there's a smart DCA where you do it on big red days or at macro supports, right? So that's what I plan on doing for the rest of this year. A lot of the coins that I'd already accumulated look like they're actually might retest those levels again. So I'm looking to add if they do. Other than that, sitting tight. We're waiting it out. And as always, as fear comes in the market, greed comes in the market at some point. We just got to wait it out. It's just a freaking waiting game at this point, guys. All right? So I'm getting out of here. Like I said, quick stream tonight. I'm going to go enjoy my Friday night. Maybe I'll do a stream tomorrow if there's something happening. I doubt it. It's the weekend, but maybe weekends are fun again. I don't know. But I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, enjoy your Friday night. Enjoy your Saturday night. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Sunday night for the weekly close. Adios, fellas. Take it easy. Don't stare at the charts all weekend. I don't think you're going to miss much. As always, we haven't been wrong about that in a while. Take some time off the charts. Mark your levels. Set your alerts. And like I said, go do whatever you need to do to make that bread to be able to buy when there's big capitulation days, right? Do whatever you need to freaking do. I'm out of here, fellas. Oh, let me look at a cash for Jam, because a cash asked very, very nicely, man. Very, very nicely for, what was it? A cash? Jam asked very, very nicely, right? So let's see. Yeah, this thing's mooning, bro. Nice, man. You know, you gotta love the coins that moon on the red days, right? This one's absolutely mooning, bro. So it's decentralized computing power, guys. This one's mooning. Be careful with this one, but it definitely is performing very, very well. Looks like it's actually shooting to all-time highs. So on that note, my guy, let me just mark this off for you. Let's mark the 1618. 222 looks like a good target for the pullback, if it gets up there, right? 222, that's the 1618 fib. That's kind of where I look at next if I'm looking for some type of pullback. Anyways, guys, shout out to Joe K. Said Bitcoin looks like shit. Yeah, it's gonna look like shit. It's gonna look good all the time. We're in that like just shop phase, man. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out. Adios. And like I said, as always, do what you got to do to make more bread, to be able to buy the big red days and other people capitulating. Later. Oh, by the way, my nipples look like George if you missed it. All right. face, hair, everything. Later.